Rastafari did a tell we long time. Long time. From in the 50s and 60s, Rastafarians been telling us what we just find out. This is the second time I'm wearing locks. The first time, 2003, when I decided to lock my hair, my mother burst into tears because she grew up in a time when Rastafari were the only people wearing locks and they were systemically persecuted. They were to be shunned, they were to be rejected, and they were ridiculed for their hair, they were ridiculed for their way of thinking. Meanwhile, all Rastafari was trying to tell us to decolonize our minds. Rastafarian teachings all along was telling us that, listen, number one, embrace your African identity. And when you embrace your African identity, that is when you can decolonize your mind from the white man and his oppression. And now when me look back at me and say, wait, they not teach you nothing about Leonard Howell. They not teach you nothing about the Carroll Gardens incident. None of them something that they not teach we. You understand? And now me look at all kind of people a come and make it look like say they were with Rastafari all along. Like we don't remember say they used to catch Rasta and shave their head and lock them up in a jail for no reason. Rastafarians been telling us, and that is why for decades Rastafarians have been suppressed. That is why for decades, until they couldn't hold them down no more.
Minister of Security, Andrew Holness, Mark Golding, FLA, who is a bunch of wicked people to the decent law-abiding citizens of Jamaica, to the police, to the soldiers, to the securities, to the business owners, who are wicked people because them don't have anything out here to protect themselves against these criminals. You're in your house, you hear a grill cut off, you look out the door, man, who know much high power weapon. What you gonna do? Bring cutlass, go gunfight? The man them a come in there, rape your little daughter, rape our little son, rob and kill everybody, and we can't protect ourselves. But yes, it doesn't make soldiers and police come out here at daytime, mash up criminal, and when them go home at night time now, them don't have a weapon to protect themselves. We need lights of fire to protect ourselves, our family, and people, and do business. You know, wicked people.
Can I share with you just a few reasons why I walked away from the religion of Christianity? So I was born into Christianity. I had no choice. You were expected to carry on being a Christian. Went to church every Sunday, did everything a Christian ought to do. I gave my life to Christ as a child. We were taught that we had to give our lives to Jesus. Altar calls were made in our children churches after we had been given a sermon about heaven and hell, about what will happen to you if you do not receive Jesus. I remember watching in church back in those days. We were told to give up our televisions in the church I grew up in because the television could cause the devil to come in the home. So you couldn't watch TV, but we could go to church and go and watch movies, right? Film night. And trust me, the film nights was nothing, no Disney movies. We would go and watch movies like The Burning Hell. Parents would be separated from kids, and we would be shown these movies about what your life would look like if you do not give your life to Jesus. And after you're done watching this very scary place, they frighten you and then do an altar call and tell you, come and give your life to Jesus. We were children. We didn't know better. We didn't know any, we were none the wiser. We just go forward, give our lives to Christ in tears. I remember giving my life to Jesus as a child in tears. Now I'm expected to carry on being a Christian until my child came to me and said, I do not want to be a Christian. And when I asked him, why not? He said he heard about how barbaric the death of Jesus was, and he didn't want to identify with that. And I looked at him, and really and truly, he had a point. Why did Jesus, the Savior of the world, have to die in such a horrific manner? If he was God, why would he need to be killed in that manner? Right? And so I started questioning. If children are innocent, why are we teaching this to children? Why are we telling children that they need to give their lives to Jesus? What does Jesus need the lives of people for? So I started questioning. And today I realized there was not good enough reasons to be a Christian. So I walked away. And I couldn't then pass on the religion to my own kids. Well, it turns out that the Jesus they said was going to save us, him and his daddy were the same ones that planted the tree in the garden. I mean, think about it. An all-knowing God, all-powerful, plants a tree and says, don't touch, to two people who didn't know whether they were going or coming, and left them to their own devices. He comes back, they've eaten from this tree. You would think that a good God would forgive them. No, he decides to punish them. Not only punishes these two, he then goes further to create hell, where anyone who comes after these two would then be punished after you're dead. Would it not have been better to save those two or forgive them? Would it not have been better? Just forgive them and then solve all the problems. But now I, in 2023, get to partake in a fruit I didn't eat. Now I'm being punished. My children are being punished. You're being punished for a fruit that you didn't eat. And guess what? If you think that you escape here on earth, the chances are you're going to go and be punished even further after you die. I think at this point, we need to realize that out of the so many gods out there, what makes you think that Jesus' daddy is the real God? How did you work it out? How did you decipher that Jesus' daddy was is the one and only true God? How did you work it out? Until you work it out, stop teaching it to kids. Stop telling kids that they're going to hell. Stop telling kids that it's child abuse for you to teach something that you know nothing about. And what even frustrates me when I think about it now, I was traumatized as a child, made to give my life to Jesus in tears after being shown places, this hell place where you'll be burned forever and ever. Well, guess what? It turns out the person who told the story of creation, Moses, he wasn't even there at the point of creation. Moses, where was Moses when he wrote the story? He wasn't even born when the story supposedly happened. So it's either Moses lied or he made it up. So no, I'm in the business of waking you up, waking people up. Start asking questions before you wait on, even if you must give your children the religion of Christianity or any religion, wait until they are adults. giving or indoctrinating children into a religion that you are not sure of, whether you've got the right religion or not, can pass as indoctrination and abuse. So we can do better as people, right? Let's do better. Let's be better. And thankfully, my child was 9 years old. He didn't want to identify with a God that thinks it's okay to kill his own child in order to save humanity. It makes no sense. I'm thankful to my son and to myself for doing the hard work and figuring out that this religion ain't it at all. It's not all that it's made out to be. No, thank you.
This young man is one of the 3 persons you'd have heard me mention in my presentation to the House of Representatives on the debate on the extension of the state of emergency, who had each been wrongfully detained. There's a video circulating of the scene in which he was stopped by soldiers and then taken into custody. He's a tertiary student, and I've been assisting him to further his education. He's a son, a community member, and a well-behaved young man. His is another example of why net fishing, or arbitrarily scraping up young men and detaining them, is a bad approach to crime fighting, especially in our situation, where the problem is a relatively small number of known violence producers. I reported his case to the head of the JDF, and he was subsequently released. I received this information from him, and I want to read it to you. I quote, "I am writing to express my sincere gratitude to you for your continued support in helping me to achieve my academic goals, and I am even more thrilled to see how you represented our constituency in the House of Parliament, particularly me. I am deeply appreciative of your support and your dedication for making this community and Jamaica a better place. Thank you again, and I hope the Lord continues to lead your heart on the right path, as you are truly God-sent and a voice for the voiceless. Thanks, Mr. Golding. Enough respect." End of quote. This email further confirmed for me that states of emergency are not the way to go.